What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another epicseven video today, guys. And today we're going to talk about our boy Charles. I was lucky enough to pull him, but honestly, it probably will be a little bit before I'm able to build him because of where I'm at building other characters. But I did want to go over him, and I did want to talk about him and ways you can potentially build him due to his skill set. So, we're not going to go over analyze his skill set. We're going to go briefly over them. If you guys want a full analyze of his skill set, please do see my should you pull video where I really do go over his skills. So his skill 1 is an attack break, and then it also has a 25% chance to activate his smash, which is his skill 2, and it is doubled if the enemy is buffed. Then we have smash, which is his strip. And damage dealt is increased in the number of buffs granted to the caster. So if he's buffed, then he's going to deal more damage. And then on skill 3, it is going to give a buff attack to all allies, increase his own defense, and also there are 3 or fewer enemies damage dealt increases as enemies become fewer. So how do we build this guy? So let's look at his stats. So if we look at his stats, we're going to go non-awakened stats, just level 50. So here you guys see that he gets 762 attack, which is pretty low for attack. Health very high of 5728, speed decent of 104, defense decent of 634. So now my first thoughts here is I would not put him on speed personally. I don't think he's fast enough to where he's going to get a lot of extra turns if you fully invest in speed. And his damage output isn't that great either. So I think his main gimmick here, in my opinion, of how you guys should kind of... his main gimmick as far as like how you should build him, I think is going to be for trying to trigger his S1 as often as possible, or building him as your tank frontline unit to where you're going to maximize using his S3 often. Maybe running him with some CR boost, something like Shadow Rose, something like Tamarine, Shuri, Requiem Wars, a unit like that. So if you're going to go that route, if you're going to go for the pure tank route, then you probably want to build him on HP, and probably straight HP or HP defense combination could work out pretty well. But I think generally the way you should go about him is trying to utilize his S1 as much as possible. So in that aspect, I think you should build him on counter or unity. So here's the thing. Because of how his S1 works, it gives you a 1-turn attack break. Then also, if he's buffed, so if you're running him on units like with DN, like Tamarine, units like that, even Guider Aether creates a buff on her auto regen ability. So there's a lot of units that, as long as he has 1 buff at all, then his slash attack has a 50% chance to trigger smash. That can be crazy good because I'm pretty sure how it works is that if he even counterattacks or does a unity attack, he can then go into his S2, I believe. Now, that may not work because I do know that, like, on, for instance, Tamarine, when she does a dual attack, she actually will not trigger her second part of her S1. So possibly on unity attacks, that will not work. But still, the fact is that his S1 does do an attack break. So that is still very, very useful in that aspect, you know, at the end of the day. But while he's attacking, definitely on his S1 to trigger smash, because that is just a great S2 single target attack, because it has a chance to strip all buffs on an ally, or on an enemy. So that is going to be insanely useful for that. Now, when we get into his substats, so let's go into his awakening, and let's see what he gets from his awakening. So from his is that his first one? So his first one, he actually gets 2 speed, so that's pretty good as a first awakening. And then he's going to get crit hit chance, so that is going to build him a little bit offensively. Here is the added effect, getting the defense for his S3 on his 3rd awakening. On his, I believe that's the 5th awakening, he's going to get 4 speed. So it looks like he gets 6 speed in his awakening tree. Then he's going to get an attack increase on his 4th awakening. So 5th awakening was speed, so he gets an overall 6 speed. And then we are going to get another crit hit chance. So he's actually going to get additional 12% crit hit chance if you actually are going to have enough of the epic catalyst to awaken him. If not, you're still going to get 6%. or no, 3%. So it would be 9% total if you can get to his 6th awakening, 3% if you can't get there. So still very, very good. So as far as for like your stat rolls, what I would recommend if you guys are trying to do to basically build him is I would try to go for HP, lots of HP, lots of defense. You could throw some speed in there as well. I think crit hit chance is going to be better than crit hit damage because you're going to want to have multiple attacks with him. He's not like a burst down attack unit. He's more of like a multiple hit unit. And keep in mind that all of his attacks have debuffs included in them or buffs included. So like his S3 has buffs, his S1 and S2 have debuffs. So that's where effectiveness is really, really important on this guy. So even if his S1 does not trigger into his S2 off of dual attacks and counter attacks, then still it is really, really good to have a lot of effectiveness. So I would say stat pool, I would say try to get into like 12k health. I'd say try to get him over 1,000 defense. I'd say speed would be good if you can get him between 175 and 180. Is a pretty decent amount of speed since he is going to get in his skill tree an additional, what was it, 6 speed. So he's going to start at 109. So that means you're only going to need to get him to about like 70 or 65 speed with your gears, which isn't that hard to do. I would say attack to aim for. Probably you want to aim for around like 2,500 to 3,000 attack if you can. I would say though, since he's more of a debuffer role, it's not necessary. So maybe attack isn't as important as you guys would think. So maybe like a 2,400 attack to 2,600 attack is good. Because when you're doing like 3,000 plus attacks, those are really meant for your pure DPS units like Lorena, Luna, etc. Guider Aether. So I would probably lean more on like the 2,200 to 2,600 range for attack. That's really solid, especially if you're going to be building him on either a Unity or counter set. And then obviously effectiveness, you guys want to have 55% plus, especially because if you don't have the Molagoras, keep in mind that his S2 only starts at 80%. But you will get a 10% effect chance on his S1 to go up to 60%. So obviously effectiveness for his S1 will be very, very good, especially if you're getting a lot of dual attacks with him. His S3 doesn't need effectiveness, however. But yeah, that's pretty much my overall thoughts of how to build him. I think he's a really interesting character. Very cool utility character to build. So if you guys have other thoughts on how to build him, like I said, I'd go for Unity, I'd go for counter, and then I'd go for HP defense if you guys are going to make him your main tanker. But if you guys have other thoughts on how to build him, definitely drop in the comment section down below. If this video was helpful to you guys, as always, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for some more epicseven content. I hope you guys had some awesome luck, and I hope you guys did end up pulling them. If you guys didn't, I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys will be lucky in the next banner. He is around for another week. We shouldn't get a new banner next week, so you guys will have another opportunity next week if you want to save up some books and skystones and all that jazz. But thank you guys so much for checking out the video today. As always, it's your boy Fort Misery Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next epicseven video. Peace out, guys.